Well met to all my slain adventurers and fallen warriors, and welcome to Deep in the Dungeon, a little show where I take roguelikes and dungeon crawlers and try to bring them back up in the public eye. I was the once great and now defeated Kingpin Cheshire, Casey for short, and today we're looking at Skul the Hero Slayer, a little roguelike dungeon crawler that was created by the same team as Dead Cells, and takes our classic narrative of a hero slaying hordes of bad guys and kind of flips the narrative on its head. So, let's get ready and try not to lose our heads as we dive in. Let's go. At a glance, Skul Hero Slayer gives off the impression of being nothing more than a standard hack-and-slash dungeon crawler. Mow through baddies, pick up the shiny thing, mow some more, another shiny thing, rinse, and repeat. I'll admit that, yes, it does follow the formula pretty closely, but there's an undeniable charm to this one. It carries itself in the same manner as Dead Cells, but instead of collecting more and more powerful weapons with devastating combos, you're now collecting the skulls of your slain brethren and harnessing their powers. Immediately, the first thing that sets this game apart is it's a classic dungeon crawler story done in reverse. And the story is actually pretty captivating too. Instead of your wannabe hero cleaving through hordes of generic skelly bobs, witches, and other paint-by-numbers D&D grunts, you're the generic, boring, paint-by-number D&D skelly bob. You know, there's a small chance I might have just fucked myself here with that earlier description. Hellbent on, it's not even revenge, it's just a poor kid trying to save and honor all of his fallen friends and family from the previous onslaught for the sole purpose of dude just misses his family. It's a refreshing twist where now the bosses are different types of your stereotypical heroes from similar games. You have your paladin, man-at-arms, sexy cleric, sexy mage, sexy shinobi. What? Only women can be sexy? And so on. Now, piggybacking off the whole reverse mechanic, what I believe the best trait this game offers is how you change your build. It may come as no surprise, but since you are dead, you can take off your head and recite Shakespearean quote. Wait a minute, I got sidetracked there, didn't I? Yeah, I better give it a second shot before the cease and desist comes. Since you're dead and your aforementioned dead family is riddled throughout your run, you can swap their skulls to harness their abilities and select attributes, each of which can drastically change every run. Okay, yes, I get it. That's literally the point of a roguelike. You got me. Some of my favorite skulls are the Predator for his disgusting damage output and skills that let you absolutely ignore the lives and willpower of anyone standing in your way. The Clown for his quick attack speed, a passive that does burst damage when an enemy gets a third knife stuck in them, and a whole onslaught of abilities involving throwing more knives to capitalize on said passive. And lastly, the Bomber for the only reason of running in and blowing everyone up to complete smithereens. I don't even have a special commentary on this one or, recommended builds. Just look at him go! Hell, guys, they even let you play as Nicolas Cage in this game.
Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes! Ah! Ah!
So, you can also equip up to 2 different skulls, which can help create more interesting builds and better combos. Say you want the Hunter Skull to pick off the weaker enemies with careful snipe shots, and then switch to an absolute unit when you inevitably miss every shot, and shit hits the fan. The Archlich is a powerful legendary skull that lets you unleash chains from hell to slaughter your opponents, and using skills to lock them down with a special ability that unleashes pure and utter pain to any fool that has the audacity to exist at the same time you do. I recommend pairing them with a speed-based skull, since he's left pretty vulnerable when all his skills are on cooldowns in the middle of a fight. Adding another layer to the skulls is Arachne, and her ability to upgrade them to unlock extra abilities, passive, and just overall buff your stats. I still haven't upgraded every skull, but I'm so hooked now that when I pick a skull I'm in love with, I blatantly destroy any and every other skull in my way for the only purpose of seeing this one class reach the ultimate top. Upgrading your skulls is an amazing way to keep your favorite skull, even if it's just like a level 1 grunt, relevant and powerful throughout your run, regardless of the increasing difficulty with each chapter. Lastly, here are the relics, and while they do serve the normal purpose of augmenting your power or abilities throughout each run, there is an added strategy behind them with a mechanic known as inscriptions, which are attributes that are attached to each relic and can be stacked to increase their effects. There are standard ones that merely increase your damage, but then you can find some interesting ones like Piercing Wind that adds kind of that wind blade mechanic from Legend of Zelda, or something like Mechanic, which sprinkles nuts and bolts throughout your map, and when you pick them up, you get cooldown reduction on your spells. It's certainly a fun way to add extra things to look out for to the standard item hunting that most dungeon crawlers have. Now, only being able to carry 9 relics means not only having to select what relics you want for your run when you're inventory, but now what hidden inscriptions for the buffs and effects you wish to hone for that run gets full. For instance, on one run, you can focus on being an absolute tank with an entire army's worth of HP and the stability of a day-old baguette. Equip the right skull and ain't nothing taking you down. Next run, you can set your build to be based solely on damage and crit, so when the timing and circumstances are right, you one-hit kill every poor asshole who crosses your path. It's not uncommon that I end up painstakingly going through my inventory halfway through my run just to max out my inscriptions and keeping the best items possible. Skull Hero Slayer takes the platforming and fighting of Dead Cells, character progression of Hades, and the unique and memorable weapon system of Binding of Isaac, all together making it a truly notable game that really deserves more credit. It's a nice little gem that I just cannot stop playing, and I'm always invigorated with that one more time spirit to beat my previous run, so I can finally see what this ultimate bomber skull does! Hey, wait, before you go and leave the dungeon, I just want to say thank you so much for showing your support and making it to the end of the video. This is something that I've been wanting to do for kind of all my life, and you guys coming to show your support, I just can't tell you how much it really means to me. If you could do me a huge favor, and if this video maybe influenced you to play the game or tell your buddies about it, let me know down in the comments and show some love. You know, here's the normal jargon, blah blah blah, to follow my socials and everything in between. And until then, I will see you guys on our next quest. Don't forget to stay smiling. Take care. Bye-bye.